Hi, welcome to Bass with Gav, session 3. Today I'm going to focus on what I see as the primary role of this here massive stick. It's to be the linkage, the glue between, on one hand, the chordal structure, and on the other hand, the groove of the track. So you're kind of operating like the muscles between the skeleton of the drums and the pretty skin. So you are like helping to move that and articulate it and get it where it needs to be and keep it in a good structure. So yeah, you work well with the skeleton there, who is the drummer, who is your best mate in the band. Even though his girlfriend's kicked him out and he's homeless and he chews the settees and all the other things that drummers do, but we love them anyway. So I'm going to play a very simple 2-chord thing on the piano, and I'm going to play over it in different styles on the bass. But before I do that, I'm going to go through the styles just like with my bass to show you what I mean. I need to back up the mic a bit, like Mark and Large used to say. Right, let's get a bit more gain on the mic. So we got a little groove's going to be going along, and it's just like that kind of thing. So we're going to be playing different bass lines over that. The first one is going to be a it's like a straight groove, okay? And the advantage of that is it's just easy to play. It generally sounds quite good. That's your entry level bass line. The next one is a tighter sort of thing, letting the snare drum breathe, like so what you're doing is every time there's a snare hit, you're killing your note. Knocked myself out doing that. So that really makes a track punch a lot more if you've got that. The next style, passing tone. So you might be doing. So you've got like a passing tone there. I'm using. I'm just going in between a G and a C. By the way, we're not worrying about what the notes are in the chords. We're not worrying about music theory or scales. But I will say, music theory terms, it's worth getting used to it. But that's what I'm doing. I've got a passing tone in there. Then we've got octaves. So there we go. That's called an octave. An octave is double the frequency, so it's the same note. It's the same note, but an octave up. That gets confusing. They're both called C, and they fit together. If you superimpose the waveforms over one another on a synthesizer and an oscilloscope, like oscilloscope over here, it's very easy to understand what's going on, but don't worry about the theory. Fifths is the next one, which is very similar. So there's your fifth, and that's like same thing as your guitar, say power chord. It's exactly the same thing, really. It's we're bass players. We tend to play one note at a time. If we play too many at once, we get the Three Stooges going through a door problem, and they can't get through. It just sounds muddy. You can do block chording on a bass. That'll be another video, though. I do quite a lot of it in church if I'm not playing with electric guitarists. Quite frankly, put a distortion on, put an octave on, go for it. Haven't been told off yet at Vineyard. I'm sure it's coming. The next one is putting pentatonic licks. Pentatonic is a 5-note scale. If you've played Ocarina of Time, if you're as old as me, or you've played the reissues, you'll be familiar with the little ocarina. It's got 5 notes, and they all sound good, whatever order you play them in. Yes, that was more than 5 notes. I went up an octave. Technically, it's still 5. There's only 12 notes in the Western scale anyway. Pentatonic, so it's like a. So there's a lot you can do with that. My beatboxing is rusty. The next one we're going to do is like a blues walking bass line. So that's, you know, a very standard sort of blues progression, and you often hear blues players playing that. Came from the upright, slaps away, sounds great. Then I'm going to do a little variation on that, which is more like a jazz thing, but I'm not going to try to play that now. I'm not a jazz player, but I had a little go at sort of fake jazz. And then finally, I'm just improvising. So what I'm doing is like nice little chord tones on bass. So that kind of thing, and that like can round out a song nicely. Or if you're playing in like a trio or a quartet, you can sometimes get enough room and enough like frequency space to start playing a few things like that. So yeah, the idea is just to say you're trying to link these things together, and the way you do it gives a completely different feel to the music. Okay, you're primed. Have a listen and see what you think of these styles.